2. Um, oh, and by the way, I just wanted to mention real quickly, I had a comment by a viewer on one of my videos um, who mentioned that um, in his text message, in his comment to one of my videos, that um, this woman is just reading books and reading out of reading text, and evidently she doesn't have any ideas of her own. Um, my answer to that is, nobody is a blank slate, and everybody's ideas come from somewhere. And I just happen to mention where they come from. And it it's maybe your ideas come from somewhere else, perhaps Rush Limbaugh or some right-wing talk show. And the commenter labeled me a leftist, and that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. Um, I do believe in left-wing causes, just as this viewer obviously believes in right-wing causes, and so um, I'm just trying to make my case. I don't believe there's anything wrong with that, but to attack me for um, reading material on the web, um, well, whatever. Anyhow, so part 2. Uh, So these NSA intercepts, this is about the NSA intercepts of the Saudi family, Saudi royal family. And the NSA intercepts, writes Hirsch, were more specific. In one call, Prince Najaf, who has served for more than 2 decades as interior minister, urged a subordinate to withhold from the police evidence of the hiring of prostitutes, presumably by members of the royal family. According to the summary, Najaf said that he didn't want the client list, to be released under any circumstances. Sort of sounds to me like the family values crowd within the Republican Party that then is essentially doing the very same thing that they're always ranting and raving against. So, just another hypocritical tidbit. So, no wonder people are getting pissed off. Anyhow, so here it goes further. In the intercepts, princes talk openly about bilking the state, the Saudi state, that is, and even argue about what an acceptable percentage they could take. Other calls indicate that Prince Bandar, very well-known figure, especially on CNN and on C-SPAN, because he is an ambassador, the Saudi ambassador to the United States, was involved in arms deals in London, Yemen, and the Soviet Union that generated millions of dollars in commissions. In a PBS Frontline interview broadcast on October 9th, 2001, Bandar, who was asked about the reports of corruption in the royal family, was almost upbeat in his response. The family had spent nearly $400 billion to develop Saudi Arabia, he said, and if you tell me that building this whole country we misused or got corrupted with $50 billion, I'll tell you, yes, so what? We did not invent corruption, nor did the dissidents, who are so genius, discover it. Well, there are a few other paragraphs here worth reading. One is the Fahd regime, and the Saudi regime, in other words, was a major financial backer of the Reagan administration's anti-communist campaign in Latin America and of its successful proxy war in Afghanistan against the Soviets. This is a few decades back, of course. Oil money bought the Saudis enormous political access and leverage in Washington. And obviously, that's still the case. Working through Prince Bandar, they contributed hundreds of millions of dollars to charities and educational programs in the United States. American construction and oil companies do billions of dollars worth of business every year with Saudi Arabia, which is the world's largest oil producer. As end of year 2000, Halliburton, the Texas-based oil company business formerly headed by Vice President Dick Cheney, was operating a number of subsidiaries in Saudi Arabia. Well, that of course is no longer news. We already know about that. In the Clinton era, the White House did business as usual with the Saudis, urging them to buy American goods, like Boeing aircraft. And right now, you know, it's probably the Airbus or whatever they want over there. The kingdom was seen as an American advocate among the oil-producing nations of the Middle East. The CIA was discouraged from conducting any risky intelligence operations inside the country, and according to one former official, did little recruiting among the Saudi population, which limited the U.S. government's knowledge of the growth of the opposition to the royal family. In other words, the foreign policy establishment in the United States, both within the Clinton administration and the present administration, has completely missed the boat as far as what is going on in the Middle East. And it is, at best, delusional, and at worst, catastrophic for all of us. Anyway, that's it for part 2. I'm not sure how I will follow up on this, but I'd like your feedback, and thanks for listening. I'm tuning out for today.